Hey folks, Monty here, aka Space Helmet Dave, and I am coming at you today with a video tutorial for the Elektron Octatrack. Now this video is the first in what I'm hoping is a series of tutorial videos I make about how I use this amazing sampler and sequencer. Today's tutorial is going to be a relatively simple one about how I sample and then how I slice and dice and rearrange those samples inside this machine. So today I have it set up with my analog rhythm, and I have a very simple drum beat programmed. Let's take a listen to that. Cool, just a simple 1-bar beat. And what I want to do is I want to sample that into the Octatrack, and then I want to rearrange that beat and see what else I can come up with. So I'm going to start by setting up my machines on the Octatrack. I'm going to take track 1, I'm going to double click source, which is bring me my source setup menu, and I'm going to make this a flex machine. So I'm going to highlight flex, hit right, and then I'm going to set this to be R1 or recording buffer 1. Hit yes, it should highlight it, and then once that's highlighted, you can hit no a bunch of times to get back to this main screen. So I want to record this into recording buffer 1, so I'm going to hit function, rec 1. This is going to bring me into recording 1 setup menu. And I have 3 input options. I have in AB, in CD, and source 3. Source 3 is used for internal sampling. You can sample any one of the other tracks or the master track. In AB and in CD are for the parative inputs on the back of the machine. So I have the rhythm plugged into AB, and I want to have this set up to be AB. You can see you have a couple options here. You have AB, A, B, and A plus B. And what AB does is that records us in as a stereo pair. And I'm going to take in CD and scroll that all the way to the left to make that not on. My record length I'm going to set to be 32 steps, which is 2 bars. And then I'm going to make my scale to be 2 bars. Go back into my recording menu, and then I'm going to put a trig on the first step here. And then I'm going to convert that to a 1-shot trig by holding function and hitting that trig again, which will turn it yellow, which means this is a 1-shot trig. So now every time this sequence comes back around, it will not restart the recording buffer and record over what we've done. So now if I hit play, it is going to record whatever is coming into input AB. So let's try that. And you can see when the wheel was spinning that it was recording. Cool. Let's stop this. Go to a blank pattern so that doesn't play anymore. And now if we add a trig there on step 1 and hit play, you can hear now that it's just playing back this loop that we recorded. You go into audio editor, you can see the waveform. Cool. So that's all fine and good if you want to just record in loops and have them play back. But what I want to do is I want to slice this up and see what I can actually do with it. So let's get in a little closer here on the Octatrack. Cool. So now that we have this in our machine, what I want to do is slice it up. So we're going to go into our source setup menu. So I'm double click source. So bring up this menu. I want to hit use knob B to turn slice from off to on. And then I'm going to turn the loops from auto to off. Now, as you learn how the loop can be used, you're going to determine when you want that on or off. But for today's demonstration, we're just going to turn that off. So now we have that set to slice, and the length is to the slice length. So if we add, you can hear it's only playing the beginning of one of the slices. So we're going to open up the audio editor here. You go hit amp to go to the slice menu. And what I want to do is I'm going to hit yes to get into the menu. I'm going to hit create slice grid. And now you have a bunch of options for how it divides these slices up. You can also do this manually, which I'll do in another tutorial, but today we're going to use the slice grid. I'm going to make this into 16 slices, which is going to add slices at every 8th note. Cool, and now you can see with all the vertical lines, those are where our slices are. I'm going to hit no to get back out of this a bunch of times to get back to our home page. And now if you see, I'm going to add trigs on the 8th note. And as I hit play, you're going to hear that it's just going to be sounding this kick and initial hat because it's going to be automatically playing slice 1. Not very interesting. But what we can do, go back to our audio editor menu, make sure we're on amp, which is the slice page, hit yes to get to the menu, and then we're going to go down here to create linear locks. And what this is going to do is it's going to assign the start place to each trig in a sequential way. So when I hit yes, it's going to say, are you sure? Hit yes again. Now I hit play, you're going to hear that this is going through our original sequence because it's playing slice 1, then slice 2, then slice 3, etc., etc. Now this is really cool because you can then do things by like slow it down. But because these are slices being triggered every 8th note, the timing is kept. So that alone is argument enough to use slices. However, we can add some randomization and see what this thing is willing to do. So we're going to do create random locks. Are you sure? You hit yes. And now what it's done is it's randomly assigned start positions to all these trigs. So this is likely going to be nonsense, but it might be cool. Okay, that's okay, I guess is the best way to put that. So I'm going to clear out all my trigs here. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go through and add trigs where I think they might be interesting. And what I'm actually going to do is skip beats 1 and 3 for each measure, and you'll see why in a second. Let's go back, create random locks. Are you sure? Hit yes. And then I'm going to go back and add trigs, beats 1 and 3. And the reason I do this is because this is going to automatically place slice 1 on these steps so that we have our kick drum on the 1 and 3, which is just going to hold this beat together. So if everything else is random, there's still some sort of sense to this. So let's see what we did. It's all right. You know, and you can go through and you can randomize a bunch of times and see what's willing to do. And a lot of times this is nonsense, but sometimes something really amazing happens. And as you learn to work with slices and randomization, you'll realize what an amazing tool it is for creation. So with that being said, that is my tutorial for today. If you enjoyed this, and you have anything that you are interested in learning, anything you think I can help you with, please drop a comment below or send me a message, and I would be happy to make tutorials to help you learn this amazing machine. Thanks.